All right, welcome to Patch News this week. I have with me our special guest, Elaine Ashman, who is one of our college students, summer workers, soccer coaches, entrepreneurial leaders, and sometimes weekend fair-going, selling stuff person. So you cover a lot of bases. Welcome to our show.
Hello.
All right, so Elaine, talk a little bit about yourself first. What college you went to and what all you've been involved in.
Okay, well right now I'm at West Virginia Wesleyan and I am a service scholar. I'm also an art student and I'm a psychology minor.
All right, so we're putting your art background to use. And for today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about the festival and the glass fusing stuff you've been working on and how we tie that together with Patch. So let's talk about this last weekend. You went to the festival. Tell me a little bit about that. Where it is, where it's at, the time, and so forth.
Well, we set up a booth on Capitol Street and we were right in the middle of everything because they had a run going on and they had a lot of music that was around us, so we had a lot of people coming through.
Yep. There were 70-some vendors. They had the Run Walk. For the Biggest Loser deal, they had the river thing going on with bands and music down there. So it was a big deal right in downtown Charleston. Tell me a little bit about what your booth was about, how you got stuff for your booth, and everything that went involved for getting you there and getting set up.
Well, the majority of the stuff that we had was made by kids during the after-school program that they had throughout the year, and a couple of the things were made by students this summer.
Yep.
And we got together some sushi plates, wasabi dishes, and we also had a couple candle holders, and we sold those to raise money for next year's glass fusing class.
Yep, and some pennants that the middle school kids and some of the summer kids made. So you had a whole arrangement of stuff. Let's look at the first photo and talk a little bit about that.
Okay, well right here we are selling glass. I believe I'm talking to a customer and telling her about our program and what the money is going towards.
Okay, a little bit about your spiel. Let everybody know how you kind of started that conversation off.
Well, basically the
people are
attention
walking by and you have to get their attention. How'd you do that?
the attention grabber is that everything that they see is made by kids, and everyone immediately stops and looks because they're amazed that kids are able to make glass.
Yep, and that's a pretty high-end craft. Even at Festival, which has a pretty good caliber of artists, this was a high-end craft to do glass jewelry and glass sushi plates. So it looks pretty neat. It's all sparkling. Okay, tell me a little bit about how you make them and how you work through that process.
Okay, well the sushi plates and wasabi dishes are a two-part process. First you have a flat piece of square glass. You go ahead and you take little bits of glass and glass tubing and you stick it down with Elmer's glue. Then you fuse the two together in the kiln. Then once it comes out and cools, you go ahead and you stick it into a form and you slump it into the form to create the rounded edges.
Yep, kind of the concave look. Okay, talk a little bit about your art background and how you use that to help design some plates with the students and some of the ones you did.
Okay, well in my art background you learn a lot about different colors causing different feelings, different colors going good together. You learn a lot about color schemes, so I used that to work with that.
Okay. A little bit about your expectations. Let's go to the next photo here. This is when you all first got set up, Saturday morning bright and early. You have your signs up, Patch 21st Century Entrepreneurial Program, for kids, by kids. Talk a little bit about your expectations going in. What did you think would happen? How much glass stuff did you think you'd sell? What kind of crowd did you think would come through? What were your expectations at the very beginning?
Well, I expected that we'd sell a lot of glass, but I didn't think we'd sell as much as we did. We pretty much got down to everything we had was on the table, and we had quite a bit that sold, so I didn't expect to sell quite as much.
Right. Okay, what about the people coming through? Did you think it'd be easy to sell it, hard to sell it?
I thought it would be harder to sell than it was, but as soon as you told people it was made by kids, they were immediately ready to buy it.
Okay, all right. And then talk a little bit about your highlights. What was the favorite part of the weekend? You did all day Saturday and then most of the day Sunday. So it made for 2 really long days. It rained, it was hot, you know, on and off depending on the weather. What was your highlight?
I think one of my major highlights was people asking me, could we move this to their county?
Yeah.
They wanted to have a program like this available to them and their kids.
Yep, for their kids and their students. I agree. That is kind of surprising. It's always nice to hear that. It's always kind of surprising, but it is nice to hear that people want to be involved in what you're doing. What were you most surprised by? Did you have any surprises for the weekend that you just said, wow, that really, I didn't expect that?
I was surprised by how many kids were actually interested in what we were doing. It wasn't just the parents. It was a lot of kids would come over and they were like, oh, someone my age made that.
Yep, I agree. That is pretty neat to see. Okay, let's shift gears real quick. You're also a soccer coach. So you had a great weekend at Festival. Welcome back on Tuesday. Let's coach some soccer. We went out and set the fields up today. What are your expectations for today? I know we've been practicing the last couple weeks. Game day, and you're one of the coaches. Are you ready to go?
I suppose so. Just ready to motivate some kids.
You have to be ready because it's on us in about an hour. So that's the setup of our field. We put the flags out, and it always feels like it's the first couple weeks, to me anyway, it always seems like, well, we're getting ready. And when we finally paint the field and put the flags out and the goals out, it seems like soccer's really here at that point. We start playing games. What's your expectations for this year? I know you helped coach the past couple years, so you're familiar with it.
Well, my main thing, since I don't really have much of a soccer background, I just want to get everyone involved. I don't want to see any kids that are sitting on the side and don't feel like they can jump right in and also play.
Yep. Okay, so good involvement. What ages are you coaching? You're helping coach all 4 age groups?
All 4 age groups.
So you're in the thick of it this year. Congratulations. So we're looking forward to a good soccer season. Again, I'm here. This is our Patch News for the week. Well, let's talk a little bit about this weekend. You're going right from Festival. I just robbed you out of the art room, and what are you getting ready for? Tell me a little bit about getting ready for the Mountain State Arts and Crafts Festival.
Well, the main thing I'm doing right now is I'm getting some candle holders and vases ready. So that includes grinding down the sides of the glass, cutting the glass down to size, and then I just put a load into the kiln. So I'll be taking that out tomorrow morning.
Okay. So you're getting ready for next year. You got 3 days to prepare. What are your expectations for the Mountain State Arts and Crafts Festival? Did you go last year?
Yes.
Okay, so you were there last year. You got a little bit of a background. What do you expect for this year? Last year it was terribly hot. The numbers were down for the festival over there just because of the heat. It was up around 100. This year the weather's looking better. Kind of what are you expecting? What kind of crowd do you expect compared to Festival?
I'm expecting more people to buy the pendants and the candle holders just because sushi plates and wasabi dishes aren't as big of a thing in Ripley. So I'm expecting to sell probably the same amount but a different variety of things.
Yep, I agree. I think that the crowd that comes to the Arts and Crafts Festival is more low-key, less sushi eaters, more candle people. Okay, sounds good. So getting ready, are you prepared and ready to go?
We're getting there. Almost.
We'll be by Thursday morning one way or another. Yep, I agree. Okay, so in case you're interested, we'll be over at the Mountain State Arts and Crafts Festival on Thursday the 4th, Friday, and Saturday. We will have a booth set up. It'll look very similar to the one we took to Festival, and the entrepreneurial students will be selling their wares out in the middle. The Mountain State Arts and Crafts Festival is spread out over the whole Cedar Lakes property, so it's a really neat experience. What's your favorite part of that experience of going and setting and selling the stuff?
I think one of the coolest things is getting to see everyone else's ideas and getting to take from that. I know when we were out last weekend, I came back with a whole list of ideas for things I could use for next summer.
Yep. And ideas to plan. I know you're talking about classes you could teach and how to add into your art background for our students. So you came away with ideas for that. And also for the booth, you and Michael were talking about, and yeah, that's true. We had Michael Brainerd there with us this past weekend. So ideas you could use for that. So great learning experience. That's the whole point behind that, is to provide a good learning experience. So that's our show for this week. Dave McCutcheon here with Patch. I'm here with Elaine Ashman, one of our college students that works for Patch throughout the school year and in the summer. And we're getting ready for soccer. We got about a half hour and we'll be soccering it up. So we'll see everybody on the soccer field. If you have any questions, you need to contact us. Call our office, 927-8047. If you'd like to get your student involved in any of the entrepreneurial programs, that's not a problem either. Our programs are all free for students to participate in. And this show, as always, brought to you by A&M Digital Technology. Joe and Cena McDonald here, local representatives and producers of the show. So we'll see you next week, and thanks for watching.